And what's going on, guys? Kale here, coming at you with another video. And this one I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Knowhere Heist. And there's not going to be a lot of fancy animations or spreadsheets or anything like that. Literally what I'm going to be talking about I've got written down on this tiny little thing from my hotel keycard. So by no means nothing fancy, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Knowhere Heist, and there is a lot of videos, I would say, right now kind of talking about this event, and I think I want to kind of take it from a slightly different perspective of a typical content creator, someone that, either whales or, you have people that are watching your stream and they buy you an Elite 7 orb or an Elite 6 or, all sorts of that craziness. And, while Kale is definitely on the whaley side of things, Mini and Dracarys, for the most part, basically free to play. Occasionally, I'll buy a strike pass. That's really about it on them. But so I kind of wanted to talk about, the rewards for this. So yes, it is a lot of gear investment. I don't think there's really any debate on that. Taking a character to G15 is a very large investment. I don't think there's any sugarcoating that. I think it'd be stupid to deny that. G15 is a lot of gear. So there's kind of two things I want to discuss. More so, kind of, I guess, from two standpoints. One being from Kale's, a player that has completed Dark Dimension 5, or not Dark Dimension 5, Dark Dimension 4, a player that basically has all of my Doom raid teams built up, and, I can clear a full Doom 2 lane. Mind you, tech is still a little sloppy, but, I can get through it. And then I also want to take it from, another perspective, and essentially from Mini's perspective, that, yes, I've completed DD4, but I haven't fully finished my Doom raid teams. Tech is still a little shaky for Mini, and, I still need to work on my last two sections. So those are kind of two point of views, I guess, I'm going to be looking at this. So I'm going to start with Kale first, and, I have been playing this game almost since launch. I'm at 1,400, just a little over 1,400 days. I think it's a little bit over, or almost 4 years, basically. It's like 3.8 something or whatnot. I want to say, if memory serves me correctly, I think Red Stars were introduced maybe about a year into the game, it may be a year and a half. And with that being said, I can honestly say I have accumulated enough Elite 7 orbs to open one Elite 7 so far. So basically, I kind of subtracted the first year of the game. So in 2.8 years, I have opened up one Elite 7. And I am almost at the halfway point to a second one. So that's kind of the first thing I wanted to really kind of put into perspective. In 2.8 years, our rough timeline, in 2.8 years, I have opened up one Elite 7. Just from normal gameplay, I don't buy Elite orbs. I think it's not something I'm willing to spend money on just because of the randomness. So just from free-to-play earnings, essentially, I opened up one Elite 7 in almost 3 years. So that's kind of where I wanted to start this perspective. So with Kale, I am taking the controversial decision, I guess, to go all the way to Tier 7. I'm at the point where I don't really have any particular characters that I need to take to G15, and I do have an abundance of the G15 gear. Dr. Octopus was already G15. Kitty Pryde was G14, but I have taken her to G15. Working on Rocket, I think I took Invisible Woman to 15 today as well. So next I'll be doing Rocket and Star-Lord. Now, is that something I'm happy about? No. taking a character to G15, I would prefer they have more utility in the game versus two characters I'm basically just going to be using for a blitz rotation. But do I think there's some value to it? Yes. And the way that's going to come down to is these Elite 7 credits. Now, so now, when you're looking at this, you are getting two different rewards for this Flash event. So you're getting these Elite 7s, and you're getting the Dark promo credits. The Dark promo credits, really don't add up to too much. Assuming that this event is going to stay that 7 times, like you can do it 7 times when the event rolls around, you're looking at possibly 105 Dark promo credits. Roughly about 12, well, not roughly, exactly, 1,260 Dark promotion credits a year. To kind of put that in perspective, Doom to take up a star level, I think, is 3,000 Dark promo credits. So, it would take almost 3 years to take Doom up if you were just relying on these Dark promos. So are the Dark promos worth it? I have a harder time kind of justifying that. Not so much. What I'm looking at this event, though, is the Elite 7s. And while, yes, there is certainly a randomness to opening up an Elite 7 orb, by doing this event, you can open up 1 Elite 7 per year. And, while that is certainly not amazing, don't get me wrong on that, I don't think this is an amazing time frame. I'm just looking at it from my perspective of in 2.5 or almost 3 years, I've opened up 1 orb. So, if this event had been running since the time I started playing, I would have had the 1 orb that I had gotten, throughout the course of things, but then at almost 3 years, I would have opened up 3 additional orbs. And, is that amazing? No, it's not. But I'm not using those resources elsewhere. So I'm kind of looking at this as, a very endgame player perspective. Yes, and the other thing, too, is by completing this full event its first time around, with the first time rewards, you do get enough Elite 7 credits to open up an orb, which I do plan on saving for, a character that's going to be running around. So on Kale, this absolutely makes sense. Is it the best investment in resources? Probably not. Is there stuff I'd rather be spending these G15s on? Absolutely. But it's an event that's coming around, and, it's kind of sadly one of those things that's it's, I guess, better than nothing. So I'm just kind of looking to increase my Elite 7 currency, basically. Now, I want to also kind of break this down a little bit from the very endgame type player. So we are going to switch over to Mini over here. And so Mini, I've been playing Mini 535 days now, almost 540. So, that's a year and 4 months, give or take. So in that time frame, in a year and 4 months, I have accumulated, let's see, so we are at 500. So I am literally a fifth of the way to an Elite 7. So, if we were to kind of do that math, so let's see, so 1.4, we will times that by 5, essentially. That doesn't seem quite right. That seems like a very long time. That would be 7 years. But, it depends on, these types of currencies start increasing as you get more characters to higher red stars and whatnot. But in a year and 4 months, Mini has accumulated 500 of these Elite 7 credits, so, I need another 2,000, and it could take, quite a bit longer to accumulate that 2,000. So how I'm taking this from Mini's perspective, there is a little bit of a difference, and part of that is that I don't have the required characters at 7 stars yet. So right off the bat, on Mini for this first pass, the as far as I can go is up to Tier 4. And, Tier 4 is pretty easy. Requires star level 6, and I believe G12, I think, is the requirements. So it's a pretty easy... Yeah, 6 stars, gear 12, really easy. No problem with that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I'm planning to do that. Over the long term, if I was never to level these characters up ever again, at this level, once a year you'd be getting 504 of these dark promo credits, and you would be getting 1008 of the Elite 7s, so you would be getting an Elite 7 every 2.5 years. Again, is that awesome? No. But again, I guess it's better than nothing with very minimal investment. Taking a character to G12 is just purple gear. Not very expensive. Certainly doable. I think this is worth the minimal investment. What I will suggest is for players that do have all of these characters at 7 stars, maybe you're not willing to invest the G15s. Maybe you're not quite at that level where you have that abundance of gear. Maybe you're still working towards Dark Dimension 4. I certainly would not take any... I wouldn't kind of redirect any resources from Dark Dimension 4 into this event. Completing DD4 is way more important. Taking DD4 characters to G15, higher priority than this event. It's not going anywhere. It comes around once a month. But if you're not at that large abundance of resources and, you still do want to try to get a larger influx, what I would suggest is maybe going up to the Tier 6. And Tier 6 is going to be 7 stars. So this is if your characters are already at 7. Taking a character to G14, they need to be level 75, and then, G14, obviously. I think the materials for G14 are pretty easy to come by. I don't normally have to farm anything for a G14 character, even on Mini. And if you were looking at Tier 6... Again, you'd be looking at 840 dark promo credits. Elite 7s, you'd be looking at 1764, which would roughly equal a Elite 7 orb every 1.5 years. And I think that's kind of where you need to make, I guess, the personal decision is, do you want an Elite 7 every 1.5 years, and just kind of do a minimal investment, or do you want to kind of do a one-time investment and get an Elite 7 once a year? I don't really think there's a right or a wrong answer to that. I think it's really kind of up to the individual player. And, you kind of have to look at these events as what they are. It's kind of free stuff. This event didn't exist before. And when you kind of factor in the rarity of an Elite 7 orb, it's just something to kind of consider. So I think, for Kale, Dracarys, I am going to go for the Tier 7. And Mini, this first pass around, I'm going to go for Tier 4. And, as I'm able to take those legendaries to 7 stars, I will work probably towards Tier 7 as well. So certainly really curious just to find out what you guys are planning to do, if you're planning to go all the way, or if you're going to stop at Tier 5, Tier 6, Tier 4 even. Just really curious, and always awesome to, I think, bounce ideas back and forth. So, anything you're particularly thinking about, feel free to leave it down in the comment section. If you did find this video helpful, please do like and subscribe. I want to thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week. Stay safe and take it easy.